On today's episode of Every Single Morning, we're going to have a lovely discussion about this age old question: can men and women really be friends? We're going to discuss it right here and right now on Every Single Morning. Welcome to Every Single Morning. I'm Tanja.
I'm O'Shea.
And we are so delighted that you are joining us today. Today is going to be a good one, y'all. So sit back and relax. And are you still shacking up with us? Because we really need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Join
For
the
real,
party.
for real.
Join the fam. We have fun over here. And besides, we're still trying to get to 5K by Valentine's Day. So it's only right that you should just join the family. What you waiting for? Click that subscribe button. Hit the like button on this video. And look out for our notifications to let you know every time we come on air.
Tell your grandma, tell your enemies, tell the one you're shacking up with right now.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Tell everybody.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk the topic at hand. Can men and women really be friends? So here's the reason why we're having that discussion on this episode. One of my favorite actors, Blair Underwood, who recently got divorced from his wife in 2021. After 27 years of marriage, has recently announced that he is now engaged to his friend of 41 years. Someone that he has known before he was married, before he was an actor. And they have had a close friendship for many years. And now that he's divorced, a year later, they are now engaged. So there are a lot of married people who has already touched on this topic. One of them is one of my favorite people, Melissa Fredericks, and her sister Melanie talked about this very subject on the Gin and Juice podcast. Shout out to them. And as married women, I can understand their point of view. And their point of view was, if men and women are friends, supposedly platonic friends, and you've been friends for a very long time, and then turn around after you get divorced or after you leave your partner or what have you, then here comes that best friend around the corner, and the next thing you know, you're engaged. And their answer to that was they wanted each other all along, but they didn't act on it because of their commitments to other people. And if you have that type of friend that you've been wanting deeply for a while, but you was just playing your position and being on the sidelines until there was a open opportunity to just get in there and pow. And as they said in the lovely Usher song, you make me want to leave the one I'm with, start a
new relationship with you.
This is what you do. I'm like, And from that perspective, okay, I get it. I totally get it. But
You're the one that hooked us up, knowing it
knowing it
should have
should have
been
been you, I'm
you.
like, come on.
What should I do? Should I tell my baby?
I'm like, come on now. So
He talking about them for real.
for real. So I can understand their point of view as married women saying that. But since we are two single people on this particular podcast, we're going to bring our point of view as far as men and women being friends because you know, we just going to keep it real over here as we always do. So, um with that said, and since I laid down the foundation, O'Shea, we start with you.
Okay. I agree with Melissa. I agree with the Gin and Juice podcast. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Y'all
From the
ain't y'all have never been friends. Y'all were just playing the position in each other's lives because of the situation at hand. You could not be together because of your commitment to other people. Now, I didn't know that's what they said on the podcast, but I agree.
Okay.
Because for me, if I'm not feeling my friend, I will never feel my friend. But if hey, I'm newly single, she's newly single, and I've been, kind of thinking, sort of maybe, or if I even had an inkling of what if, you know, then this is how this would happen. This is how this would happen. And I wasn't honest with myself about the relationship. For me personally, though, I start out with women, letting them know, hey, I can't be your friend because somebody else wants to be your friend. He gets half the year to come around. And I know I can't be your friend because that's not for lack of a better word, that's not the vibe that I get when I'm encountering you. So not, let me not say we gonna be friends. Now, if you say, well, I don't see you that way, I just see you as a friend, then what you have just told me is because I want you in my life, you have just told me to play my position. But like Michael Jackson said, if you should someone new, I know he better, cause I'll be
If he
there.
doesn't, I'll be there.
Just look over your shoulder.
Oh my God.
It's so true. It's so true. I'm not, because I feel like I'm not being fair to the person. I feel like I'm not being fair with my feelings. I'm not being fair with anything. So if I should try to hook up with the woman or whatever, I'm be trying. I didn't know he felt that way. You are lying on them. 'Cause I didn't know. It just happened. It didn't might have just happened in your book, but I've been planning this. I've been planning this a long time. I've been planning this since Moses and Aaron got together.
No, he didn't. Not Moses and Aaron.
He says he agreed to be the spokesperson for Moses. I've been planning this. I've been planning this a long time. So yeah, I happen to agree.
Okay. So this particular topic, I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because it's a yes and no thing for me. It's a yes and no. I'm going to do two examples. Two examples is this. I had two male friends.
Mm-hmm.
One I was attracted to, other one I was not.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, we started off as friends. But the one I was attracted to, I wanted to be out of the friend zone. And I was.
And you was out of the friend zone?
And I was out of the friend zone. And we
do
did date.
tell.
We did date for a couple of years. And then when we found out that we weren't really great as a couple, because of the foundation that we built based off of friendship first, we went back to being friends without it being a bitter situation between us. Or should I say, at least on my end?
Well, see, I knew that was coming. I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. Because with a man, what we will do is we will go back to the position. Because again, it's all about having you in our lives. If I want you in my life, I'm going to play the position, whatever position it is. You know, if you say you see me as your spiritual son, I'm going to play that position. But guess what? You need an armor bearer.
Why did you use that as an example? Because listen, we have a spiritual parent-child relationship.
No, because I want to get the church involved too. Because that's my armor bearer. That's my spiritual son. While you know that y'all doing more than meeting together and praying. We get everybody involved here. The thing is about being honest about your intentions. That's what it is for me. I would never accept a friend, a spiritual son, spiritual daughter, if I know I don't feel that. If I know that's not what it is, I'm not about to tell you. You're going to have to find you some more parents.
Hilarious. So, in regards to the friend who I once dated and we became friends again, I asked this person straight up if there ever came a time that we had the opportunity to get back together, would you? He immediately said no. So I don't believe that he's playing a position because he doesn't want to be in that position with me again.
Let me
At
ask
least
you
that's
a
what I
question.
believe. Now, what did you
Do
say?
do you think that he is hurt that it had to go back to that position?
I'm sure he was. I mean, we had a very honest conversation, and I apologized for hurting, breaking his heart, hurting his feelings. And I've also made it clear the reasons why I had to do it, even though I knew he wouldn't understand it.
Yeah,
But the fact of the matter is, um,
because let me help you understand something. All he understands is the pain. And so, could it be that he said no very quickly? Because he's like, I'm not going to risk that pain anymore.
I believe that.
Because one thing about men, we can hurt y'all and we can do all kind of messed up stuff to y'all, and y'all can take it and bounce back. You go through your stuff, but you can bounce back. When a man is hurt, it's catastrophic. It's like the world has ended. It's time for Armageddon. you know, the mark of the beast has already happened. Hide your kids. It's we don't handle it. We don't handle it. And rather than experience that pain again, we will put up a shield that says, no, let me just stay right here because I don't want to risk that ever happening again.
Yeah. Well, okay, I understand that part. But for me and
Okay.
this friend,
Hmm.
we, over the course of time, we have grown distant, even as far as friendship. We've completely grown distant. And that's a natural progression um when you're growing, and over the course of time,
Or a natural progression when you refuse to heal and you rather sit in your pain.
ouch.
I because that's what it sounds like with this friend. It sounds like that he would rather sit in his pain. And when you sit and you spend your currency in hell,
Uh-oh, I knew that
because
person gonna come back.
because when you have a negative emotion and you spending your currency in hell, the enemy is going to grow that emotion, and then that thing is going to fester and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you can't stand the way that person chews. If they come in the house, they just
You
chew
don't even
like,
like the way that person breathes. Gets on your nerves.
and you notice that the agitation and everything is growing is because that pain is getting bigger because you steady feeding it because you won't heal it and starve it to death. So if you're steady feeding it, after a while, I grow apart from you, not because that's the natural progression. It's the pain that got so big that I can't even talk to you anymore.
You
And it
know you breaking the bro code, right?
well, I ain't never had one to begin with. When it comes to people being free, I don't, you know, when it comes to people being free, and especially women, because they have a lot of unfair things that happen to them, you know, because they get their heart involved in. Just because y'all are resilient doesn't mean that a man has the right to take you through crap.
Amen to that. So now let me talk about the other friend. Now that we established that one, let's talk about the other one.
Okay.
So the other friend, I've known him about the same amount of time as I knew my other friend. But I'm not attracted to this friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been friends, and I'm going to say off and on, for a good 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Off and on. And the reason why I say off and on is because when he has dated women in his life and they know of me, they immediately want him to remove me as a friend because they see me as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, boo boo. The one thing I am not is a threat. However, if I see you playing games with his heart, yes, then I would understand if you find me as a threat. But if you find me a threat because you think that I'm just playing my position, that is absolutely not true on my end.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I see women in his life and if I see danger, danger, yes, as a friend, I'm going to warn him. Now, if whether he takes my warning or not, that's on him. I've done my part as a friend and I'm going to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, our relationship has cut off at the pass because of whoever he was dating at the time, because he's done it more than once. So, so recently we reconciled, and he was honest and said that when we was visiting someone, and someone said, "Oh well, I'm sure that you're glad to reconnect with Tanja. I'm sure that you have missed her." And he was like, yeah, it was hell." And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that took me. It was hell.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who left. You're the one who stopped communicating. You're the one that did it. But it was hell. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just continued moving on with my life. I mean, I had my, I've always wondered, like, what was it that cut it off, or what was the gist, what was the catapult that was like, this is it, we're done, as friends.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
all I know is on my end, I have always been true and honest with this individual, and also the fact that no, he is not my type of dude, but I'm not going to speak for him. I'm only going to speak for me. And my thing is, he's a friend. He's a true friend.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if he's one of those, I'm playing my position just because I want you in my life. Listen, I don't know. And then my thing is, be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Be honest. Because you know that old Southern saying, because you from the South, you probably know, closed mouths don't get fed.
Mm-hmm. But even if you open them, sometimes they still don't get fed. You still starve to death. Cause if that other person don't feel that way about you still gonna be starving for affection.
So I guess it goes back to what I said originally. Rather than him getting hurt, he rather just played the position. I don't know if he feels that way or not because he keeps saying I'm family. So my thing is, if I'm family and I consider you family, I don't do incestuous relationships. That's not how I operate.
But see, that's the thing. You're going in with how you feel, and that's great. You're going in with how you feel, and that's what keeps men and women being able to be friends and be thought of as family because you're both going in and saying, okay, this is what it is, and you know what it is. Now, on his part, if he's doing that, that's on him. And then if he was to ever cross the line of the friendship, I would ask him, how long you been lying to yourself?
All righty then. Wow.
I mean, cause you came in true, so you're not the one that's lying. How long has he been lying to himself? You knew that you were never my friend. Not saying you were an enemy, but you wanted something else. You knew in your head that all this time you were playing in the house with the kids and the yellow dog. I don't know why the dog got to be yellow, but
Oh, it's a dog.
whatever. You knew that you were planning a whole life. So how long you been lying to yourself? And which one? And I want to ask a couple questions. Which one was hell? The not being friends with me, or the not being close to me at all, knowing that you had more than friends feelings. Cause you've been living in two different hells. You've been having two hells at the same time with no connection.
Wow.
So which hell we talking about? Friendship hell or romantic hell?
Wow. Okay.
Was you singing "Come On Home to Me," Charlie?
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh,
Oh my gosh!
that is so funny.
Uh, call me, see about me.
Oh God.
So yeah,
Wow.
it depends on how you go in, and you draw the line. You make sure it's clear. That's not what this is. Then yeah, if you're telling your if the parties are telling themselves the truth, yeah, they can be friends. But if you lying through your cotton picking teeth, it's not gonna work. That's why I agree with them on the Gin and Juice podcast. That was always there. They were just lying to themselves. You know, they was like Tay Diggs and Mia couldn't let themselves go there, but he would have wrote it in a book if he could, and got his butt beat.
But technically he did.
I know. I'm talking about Blair Underwood. He just
Oh,
happened to not put it in a book. Did it in real?
right. So you brought up a good point because since you used The Best Man, I'm going to use another movie that has Tay Diggs in it that talks about the very subject we're in, Brown
Mhm.
Sugar. So what is the movie about? It's about two friends who grew up with each other, who have been best friends, who have the commonality of what? Hip hop. They
Mhm.
grew up, you know, they tried to at least try to date once, realized it didn't work out, so they remained friends, right?
Mhm.
So, Sydney comes back to town, hooks up with her friend. Um, oh gosh, I forgot his name on his character name. But anyway, so what happens? Dude is about to propose to a girl that he just met. And Sydney's feeling some kind of way about that. Like, didn't you just meet her like a month ago? So she feels some kind of way about it. And then they ended up kissing the night before his wedding. And all things start getting jacked up from there. So then once he went off and did his thing, then there was a dude who was going after Sydney. So then he got in his feelings. Mind you, he's married, but he got into his feelings about his friend being with this basketball player. And then the moment that she was about to be proposed to,
Mhm.
then he wants to share his true feelings
Mhm.
after he broke up with his wife. I'm like, so you got all these people involved in y'all foolishness because y'all weren't honest with each other from the get-go. And then you broke your partner's hearts, and then y'all end up finally together because y'all was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and get together.
Bill and Regina.
Okay, well, Bill and Regina, that's a whole nother category because of the fact that she was more into him than he was into her.
Mhm. But it's still the same thing, though. They're both hurting people that they were in relationship with, also that they could be together. And now that they together, he doesn't want her. After he darn near broke his whole body riding on a horse he couldn't ride, mind you. Uh, You do all this to break up her wedding, and you don't want her,
For those of you who are listening, like, what are you talking about? That's Tyler Perry's Bruh.
bruh. And and if you watch it, it does make you go, bruh, because these last few episodes, I was like, bruh.
Yeah, I'm officially stopped watching it because I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm so DONE with that. But anyway,
Mhm.
right. Okay, I can see your point about Bill and Regina, but the fact of the matter is she was more obsessed with him than he was with her. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until Bill found out that she was moving on with someone else and the focus was no longer on him. That's when he made the decision.
Yeah, and
I'm going after her.
that's exactly the same thing, because that's the same thing with the other story. That's the only time men move,
When you find someone new,
because they like when you find someone new and it's about to get serious and that door is about to close. Because as long as y'all are in the quote unquote friend zone, they have a potential door they think they can come back to. But when you are about to close that door for good, nah, mm-mm, can't let this happen. Because that's a relationship I love to play with until things get pushed or violent pushed into seriousness.
Hmm, that's interesting. So I go back to the original question. Can men and women really be friends?
Yes, they can, as long as they're clear about their relationship. You
Okay,
clear about it.
let's talk about being clear. Because you know there's another friend that comes to mind when we're talking about being clear.
Okay.
Um, there was a friend who's now a former friend. And I knew this friend around the same time that I knew my other two friends that I spoke about previously.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually my second friend who I'm not attracted to, was the one who introduced me to this new friend.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there was some attraction there on my part,
Mm-hmm.
but this particular person made it clear that he only wanted to be just friends with me. And I'm like, okay, fine. I can deal with that. Whatever. I'm not going to necessarily say I was playing my position because I was dating other people at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we were friends. However, if we're going to talk about being clear, let's not just be clear with our words. Let us also be clear with our actions.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we're going to talk about being friends, let your words and your actions be consistent across the board. So, with this particular friend, yes, he told me straight up that he only wanted me as a friend and nothing more. Those were his words. But over the course of time, the actions didn't line up with the words. So much so that everybody in our friends group started asking if we were a couple because we acted like we were and we
Mm-hmm.
really weren't. So I will call this particular friend a placeholder. I'm going to call the situation for what it is. We were each other's placeholders. So the fact that even though he
Mm-hmm.
told me with his mouth that we were just going to be friends and nothing more, his actions did not line up with those words. And therefore, the lines got blurred.
Mm-hmm.
So, so when he started to date and threw those dates in my face because he wanted to see, look, I'm dating somebody. I don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. And it hurt. It really hurt because the way that he did it was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
However, as soon as that woman was like, nah, I don't want you no more. Then all of a sudden, hey, you want to go to the movies? Hey, you want to go to dinner? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do that? And I'm like, what about your girlfriend?
Well, see, with that, you have to be, that's not even a friendship at all. You are, that y'all weren't even friends.
I agree.
You were a rebound. That's what that was.
Was I
Yeah.
a rebound from the beginning though?
Is that how he moved in the beginning?
No. Well,
How-
like I said, In the beginning, he told me straight up he just wanted to be friends, but
Okay.
his actions didn't line up with those words.
Okay. But then when he got in a relationship,
Hmm.
he did that.
He did.
That's still not a friend. That's still saying that you're a rebound. I don't have anybody, so this person is going to be
The
here.
placeholder. I was basically the placeholder.
I know you don't want to. You were the rebound.
Okay, fine.
I see. That's the part about real friends. Real friends got to tell you the truth. You don't necessarily want to
Okay,
receive.
fine. Fine. Rebound.
Uh, the thing is that he may have been able to do that once, but you have to ask yourself, why did you keep allowing it for so long?
Oh yeah, because I was definitely um I was going through some stuff at the time. And
Hmm.
I was at a place in my life where I needed some people around me because I didn't like being alone.
And
So
and
I
here's the thing. That's why I wanted to identify that because I'm going to show you something else.
okay.
Okay, so number one, he knew you liked him. Okay,
Yeah.
but you agreed to be his friend because you wanted him in your life, no matter how it was. He blurred the lines because he knew you liked him
Hmm.
and he could. Then he said, she won't ever, no matter what I do, she won't leave because I know she don't want to be alone. So
Until I
then,
wanted to be alone.
so then you took you no until you said, I may not want to be alone, but I'm still alone. You had to accept the truth. You said, I'm still alone because he ain't even here. Eventually, you came to that realization that, yeah, I want him to be here, but he's never going to be here like I want him to be. So, what am I really holding on to? That's what you eventually came to,
Pretty
and you
much.
and you was like, to H with it.
Pretty much.
But he took advantage of you liking him and your vulnerability.
And have the audacity that once I cut off the friendship
Hmm.
and finally made a decision to keep my self respect and realize that I
Hmm.
deserve better than what I was getting,
Hmm.
he's still mad to this day.
Because, and I'm gonna just go here because it's who I am. Because the spirit could no longer control. Because the enemy was going to use, quote unquote, y'all friendship to take you to the gates of hell.
Mm, my God. My God.
And really, what the enemy is upset about is that you got the wisdom to realize that we ain't really friends in the first place. Because how can you be my friend and hurt me in so many different ways?
And he did.
And then, see, a friend, the Bible says faithful are the wounds of a friend, but those are not intentional wounds. You're going to wound me as a friend because you have to tell me the hard truth that I may not necessarily want to hear. And if we're really friends, you do have that place in my life to where you can do that. But, and that's what the Bible means when it says faithful are the wounds of a friend. But it doesn't say faithful are the intentional ones. When you intentionally wound me, you're an enemy.
Yeah. Pretty much.
When you intend to hurt me, that's an enemy. That's not a friend. Because the enemy comes with intention to steal, kill, and destroy.
True. Very true.
He comes with the I know what I'm doing. I come to steal, kill, and destroy. And this is what I want to. This is what I want to do. And he did everything the enemy would do. So you're not a friend, you're an enemy. And so it's time that, and what he was upset about, you identified me and put me out the garden. You were supposed to play with me like Eve did.
Wow. Reality check. Wow. Okay. So I guess we did answer the question that men and women can be friends, but there has to be honest communication with each other.
Yes.
And also there has to be boundaries as well. I mean, as friends, there are certain lines that you shouldn't cross.
Yeah.
Especially if you are a true friend. And once those lines are crossed, also the friendship should as well. So, wow. I'm just, I mean, listen, if you are an avid watcher of this podcast, you should know that I put my business out there as an example, not to be thrown in my face per se. Yeah. So getting this reality check on air.
The things we do for y'all to get y'all healed.
If it's going to help deliver someone else who's watching, who's literally going through any of the examples that's just been mentioned, okay, then this episode was worth it.
Yes.
But, oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. What are your closing thoughts?
But at the end of the day, it should be a thank God that I, with my feelings and everything, I had enough wisdom to get out of there. And I did not allow, the enemy to do what he did. Because this is a thing for everybody to realize. When God wants to bless you, how does he bless you? He sends people. When the enemy wants to kill you, how does he do it? Through people. So everybody sent to you ain't of God.
There you go.
Everybody sent to you ain't your friend. Everybody sent to you is not here to help you. They're sent here sometime to derail you. And it's up to you to have the discernment to find out which one they are.
Wisdom, knowledge, and discernment.
That's why the Bible tells us to know them that labor among us. Do you know the intentions of those around you. Do you know? Because if you don't know, you need to know. And there are certain places, as we talked about earlier, boundaries. There are certain places you don't let them in until you, because I'll say something that your sister taught me. She said, and I refer to this often. She always tells me, she say, Dad, you know, you like people and you befriending them and you teach them. And she said, and then you know what they do? They get all your wisdom and then leave.
Shout out to Cheryl.
They get all your wisdom and then leave, and there you go hurt. Cause you know,
All that investment,
yes.
boom, down the drain.
And so what she was trying to teach me was, Dad, be careful before you go pouring your pearls, because you could be talking to a swine.
There's a swine among you.
And so, and then she was trying to also tell me, be careful letting people into the intimate places of your life that's going to take you years emotionally to get them out of. Because good, we end friendships, but how long does it take to emotionally end a friendship? How long does it take to emotionally end that if you let them into a real deep place? So we got to be careful and we got to be on guard. And we got to have that discernment. And don't move until you know. Those are my remarks.
As I'm sitting here listening to you, the Holy Spirit just gave me a lovely little package and just tied it up in a little bow like so. Um, what all of these three men had in common, well, with the exception of one now, but what they all had in common previously.
She saying my list got short since I
mean, let's just make it clear. My circle is extremely short, and that's fine. I'd rather have it that way. I prefer it that way. Their commonality and what they all bonded over was the fact that I hurt them. Never mind the fact that they all hurt me, but because I hurt them. And that was the commonality between all of them. And I'm like, but what? Okay. I mean, I know that saying, my enemy equals my friend.
Who said that?
It's an old wives' tale that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. If two of you are enemies and you have one common denominator, and that's you wanting to destroy someone else, then you temporarily become friends to destroy that person that you both have in common.
Yeah. But y'all ain't never really friends in the first place. Y'all just realize that you're not going to be able to defeat this one person by yourself, so you have to team up, which basically shows the person that you're teaming up against the real power of who they are, because it takes more to come at them than normal.
Trauma bond.
Well, well, it's not often that chokes me up. But okay.
Well, on that note, O'Shea, tell them where they can find you.
If you still want to follow me after this episode, you can follow me on everything at the top. Tanja, tell them where they can follow you.
You can follow all of my information on the handles below. And if you want further information, by all means, there's my link tree. My link tree is in the description below. That's where you will find all of my information, including my PayPal, my Cash App, and all that other good stuff. You can all find it there, as well as my website. If you want to purchase my books, everything is in the Linktree account. So just click on the description below. So I told you this was going to be a good episode, didn't I?
Yes.
So
this was wonderful.
So we need you to go ahead and share this bad boy, because this is too juicy for you to keep to yourself. Selfish.
And we need more followers.
Yes, we do.
We need more subscribers.
I'm trying to get to that 5K by Valentine's Day. We're trying to reach that, and I still have faith. We're going to do it. I still have faith. So I'm trusting y'all. Anyway, on that note, we'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye.